world right now, the Astros are better than every other American League team.
Yeah, but this is my show.
I don't care. You gotta be straightforward.
All right,
the Rays,
fine. We got the Astros. They're
go with the Astros.
They're gonna win at least one game.
You can't look.
For Biden.
There's not supposed to be politics right now.
Don't matter.
Doesn't matter. You voted for him.
Be quiet, Brandon.
Talk whatever we want.
It's sports. Well, I'll tell you, special announcement. Whenever Doug's on the show, we talk sports and a little politics.
All right, 23 wins. So what's the difference?
Malibu at the diner part of the casino.
It's amazing, and listen, I love the setup, especially outside.
He campaigned. He wanted to be president.
Wear McKinnon, and then he would wear a blue
MVP quarterback, and then the other quarterback.
Microphone and say you want to be the owner and runner of the company.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the Doug Strabo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lapor. We have a special guest with us today. Brandon Schwartz is back today. It's September 26th. Brandon, how are you today, buddy?
I'm doing good. Just got back from Florida 20 minutes ago. Tried to beat the hurricane, so I'm home. So just in case there was a hurricane that hit there, so I'm back. Glad I'm back. So it's good to be on the show, and I'm excited for tonight. I'm sure you are too. It's going to be a fun game, man.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. We're playing the Dallas Cowboys, and we have a shot to be 3-0. How awesome is that?
Oh, my God. It's going to be amazing. Just imagine if the Giants win the game tonight. It's going to be the story of the week for New York City sports.
For sure.
I would say probably one of the biggest stories in the last couple of years. Because the football Giants have just been so bad in recent years, and now they're actually making people stand up every game and go close to their TVs and just focus on the game so much.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
how exciting the Giants have looked in the first two games. Now they could have lost either one, but they won games that they never used to win. So they did the right thing. And Doug, I said this on the podcast with you a couple of about, I think it was like a month ago. I think that this coaching staff is going to be very good, and they showed you that they could be really good, and I think they're really confident in what they got.
Yeah, well, you did say that this team could win the division, and I think that's something that I believe now. I really believe this team has what it takes to win this division.
Well, let's keep it rolling, baby. We got some confidence going here.
Hell yeah, we do. So, what's going to be the difference for tonight's game? Obviously, you got Daniel Jones, you got Saquon Barkley. Kayvon Thibodeau is coming back, making his debut. So, who's going to be the difference maker for tonight's game?
Well, listen, Saquon Barkley hopefully will be really good tonight again. But there's a couple of guys that the Giants want to look after. They want to see how Thibodeau will fit in, and Ojulari also. He's supposed to come back, I believe, tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So he should be coming back. And there's a lot of talk about how special he could be. So he's going to come back tonight. And I think Thibodeau is going to be a very good fit with this team. But the guy that they really got to work around, the two guys that they really got to focus on connecting are probably Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley.
For sure. Fifth-year contract.
Right. And Daniel Jones is kind of like in the hot seat. It's kind of like the word is what? Like he's on eggshells here, because this could be, if he doesn't perform the way the Giants want, this could be his last year possibly with the Giants. And they might have to go look for a new quarterback.
The same thing could have been said about Eli year 4. They were saying the same shit about Tom Coughlin, Eli, right before they won the Super Bowl. Strahan, too, that they got no shot. And then they win the Super Bowl, and they win Super Bowl 42, they win Super Bowl 46, and they were here for the long run. So you never know.
You never know. You never know. And it's funny. I was just, and I compare this to, like, it was funny. I was on the plane and I was watching there was a documentary about Jeremy Lin. It was 2011 when he had Linsanity. Nobody thought he would be that good. Nobody thought he'd be that good. And just imagine Daniel Jones turns out to be something like that, where he's all over the newspapers. This guy is so special. He's going to be the talk of the town, and he could be heading on that path. He could be heading on that path, and he's showing you that as long as he has a good offensive line, his defense prevents, high-scoring games, then he's going to be a solid quarterback. There's no doubt about it. And everybody thinks he's going to be a very good quarterback. He's got speed, too. I mean, he runs with the ball very well. And he just has to have a very good surrounding around him. Like a good offensive line, good running back, and I think Saquon is the guy to have that will be here for a while.
Yeah,
if he stays healthy, he's got to stay healthy.
Oh, for sure. Why give up on the guy?
No. And a lot of people did give up on him when he got hurt, but he came back better than ever. I mean, the first game against the Titans, he looked so good. He looked so good. Like he had powers.
And he was the player of the week.
Yep, player of the week, and he deserved it because to do something to help a team win a game like that, and the team previously was so bad, that shows you that he deserved it. So, yeah, I agree. Yeah, he definitely deserved player of the week, and he's definitely going to have – I think he's going to have a very good rest of the season. He's going to have a great game tonight, I think, against the Cowboys. The fans are going to – I think it's going to be a great game tonight. Two good teams. Cooper Rush has been doing all right, so that's good. It's going to be a good game. I think Saquon's going to go off tonight. I think he's going to have a great game. I think Daniel Jones is going to have a good game, and I think it's going to be a really close game too. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah,
it's going to be about Saquon tonight too. Saquon's got to run the ball a lot. Jones has got to get the ball to him. He's got to push his way through that defensive line. So I think Saquon will have a very good game tonight. I really do.
Yeah, I do believe we will be 3-0 after tonight.
That's a guarantee.
Agree.
I totally agree, Doug. I couldn't agree with you more. They're definitely going to go 3-0 tonight, I feel like. Because imagine if the Giants lose and then the Eagles are still 3-0.
Yeah, that's going to be like a nightmare for us.
Giant fans don't want to see the Eagles be 3-0.
No, do you really want the Eagles to be in first place?
Nah.
No.
If the Giants,
baby.
The Giants win tonight, we're all happy. Eagle fans are happy. The Giant fans are happy. It's going to be a great. We'll all be excited for week 4 against the Bears.
Who would have imagine we go 4-0? Like, who would have thought that the New York Football Giants would be 4-0 at the end of week 4?
2022, baby. Anything could happen. It's crazy.
Even 3-1.
It's crazy how.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, so I mean, it could be. Listen, if they go 4-0, it's definitely the coaching staff. It's definitely
for sure.
100%. You are not getting anywhere with this coaching staff in the previous years.
Pat Shermer, Ben McAdoo,
and they were good
Joe
guys.
Judge.
They knew football, but they didn't know the right techniques. Like those games against the Titans and the Panthers, they could have easily lost. But I think Dable, when he went for that 2-point conversion, that was the smartest thing he did. And a lot of people were like, we shouldn't go for it because the Giants would have lost in overtime anyway. So they were smart for going for that 2-point conversion, and they were luckily able to miss a field goal, the Titans. So they took the game, and Giants just picked up their confidence from there.
See, when Jones threw that interception against Tennessee, I figured it was over. I was like, back to the same nonsense.
Oh my God,
it's the same bullshit over and over, and we win.
The first half was horrible, and it was funny. Like people, yeah, exactly. People were probably watching the game like, oh, the same old football Giants, man. And then before you know it, they turn it around, and it's crazy and it's just crazy. Every game in this NFL now, this year has been like the last week's Cardinals Raiders game, I believe.
Yeah,
that was a game that we thought was over, and then Cardinals come right back and win that game in overtime. And it was just every game has been so fun to watch this year. Like every game's been like a playoff game, and that's what's great about the NFL is every week is like one step at a time, and it's like every game is a competitive game, which is awesome.
Well, first I just got to give a shout out to Nicole and Dave, Go Sports. The Miami Dolphins, they are 3-0. And in the show, I even predicted that the Dolphins were going to win this division. Are the Dolphins a true contender to the AFC and the AFC East? Shout out to Nicole and Dave, Go Sports.
I totally agree. I think the Dolphins are definitely going to compete with the Bills for that number 1 seed in the AFC East. But Bills should have won that game yesterday.
Yeah, they should have.
They had the chance to win the game with the field goal. They just ran it there.
The safety,
but they needed a few more seconds on the clock, and they would have been able to kick the field goal. And listen, it is what it is. What are you going to do? You just got to move on to next game. But you got to give credit to the Dolphins, man. Tua, man, he goes in the locker room with that injury. He comes back out. He makes a long pass, and then they score a touchdown, and then they win the game 21-19, and it turned out to be a good win for the Dolphins as they're one of the, I believe, how many teams are undefeated? 3 teams are undefeated right now.
If you include us.
Right, so they're one of the teams that are undefeated right now, and they deserve it because they've been playing their butts off. And Tua's got a great wide receiver backup in Waddle and Hill. Those two are really good. But again, people are comparing, Waddle and Hill to the guys in Buffalo, Diggs and Davis. So who's better? We'll have to see as the season goes on because those two teams, Doug, are going to be really competitive, and they're going to fight down to the wire, I believe, about winning that division.
Oh, for sure.
And I think the Patriots, too. I mean, they have a shot in that division, but you know what? It's really the Bills and Dolphins division this year, I feel like. Those two are going to fight. Like, every time they play, they play again, I think, in Buffalo, the Dolphins. So that game, whenever that game is going to be, that game is going to be a huge matchup. That's going to be a huge matchup to determine the AFC East because those two teams are going to come down to I believe it's going to be week 17. Then they're going to decide. Then it's going to figure out who's going to win that division.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to come down to the last wire, man. It's going to come down to the end. I feel like with the way these two teams are playing. Oh man, this is going to be a fun rest of the season, man. For the Bills and Dolphins fans, for sure.
Even the giant Cowboy Eagle fans.
Oh yeah, and. Yeah, and listen, if you're a Cowboy fan, you hope that Dak Prescott comes back soon. Hope that he comes back soon. I haven't heard anything about him. Have you? Have you heard anything? Right, so he might be out. Who knows? He might be out for the rest of the season.
So before we get to Major League Baseball later on to the show, we're going to take a quick commercial break, which is brought to you by Dougie and Espo. And then when we come back, we will have Lapor Betting, which is brought to you by the JMB Podcast, and we're going to do our Week 4 picks. The Doug Schwartz Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lapor. We'll be right back. MVP quarterback. And then the other quarterback we have is Derek Carr.
Everything happens to me. Zach Wilson getting hurt happens to me. Not getting let into Bar A happens to me. Going to the hospital after the Jets beat the Titans happened to me.
Betting. It was named after you because you are probably known for losing a lot of bets, especially when it comes to the horse racing.
My lightning 5 picks. These are the ones I like. I mean, I love them. In my picks, you'll hear them later on. Yeah, that is my best bet.
You'll hear it in Stutz Betting.
Yes, that is my best bet.
All right, you're back on the Doug Schwartz Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lapor. We are now doing my favorite segment, which is in memory of Michael Lapor. It is Lapor Betting. So let's get this rolling, Brandon. We are going to do our picks for next week of the National Football League. And I will share the screen. NFL Playoff Predictors. It's a great website that you can use, whether it's just doing random picks, doing your Madden season, whatever it may be. So we're doing our Week 4 picks. We've got Thursday night. It looks like it's going to be the Bengals up against the Miami Dolphins. Shout out to Nicole and Dave. Go Sports. Who do you have winning this game?
Well, two teams coming off wins. The Bengals beating the Jets and the Dolphins beating the Bills. With the way this team's going, I'm going with the Dolphins, man. They still got the power and fire and tenacity.
Yeah, they do. They're playing good football.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will pick the Dolphins on this one.
Yeah, I would go with the Dolphins too. The struggling Chargers against the Houston Texans.
Got to go with the Chargers on this one.
Yeah, they've been struggling, but they got to find their stride, especially in that division.
Yeah,
Tennessee against the Colts.
I think Matty Ice is back. I think after winning that game against the Chiefs, I think he's going to win Week 4.
Yeah, you don't want to be winless through 4 weeks.
Absolutely.
They need a bounce back here. The Buffalo Bills against pay the man Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Who do you have winning this game?
Going to be close. But I'm going with the Bills after with a comeback win here.
The New York Jets against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Going with the Steelers. Still think the Jets need to improve.
The Denver Broncos, and I think a lot of people are surprised with how the Raiders have been performing with the offseason acquisitions, but I'm not surprised with Josh McDaniels being the head coach. He really never had success in the National Football League as a head coach or without Tom Brady. So I think the Denver Broncos, they're on a roll right now. I think the Broncos are going to win this game. They're going to be 3-1. They're going to take over the second spot in the AFC. Brandon, Falcons or Cleveland?
I actually think that the Falcons are going to win this game, because they did win this week. So I'm going to go with the Falcons. I feel like the confidence is improved from this week's game, so I'm going to go with the Falcons.
The Eagles versus the Jaguars.
We're Giants fans, so let's go for the Jaguars.
Yeah, let's hand the Eagles their first loss of
Let's
the
do
year,
it.
which I think is possible.
Absolutely, man.
Mac Jones versus Aaron Rodgers. Who comes out on top?
Okay, I'm going to pick the Patriots on this one because I don't know. I just feel like the Patriots could win games against teams like the Packers. I just feel confident in them in winning, so I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Makes sense. I think you could see an upset.
You very likely could.
The struggling Buccaneers against the Kansas City Chiefs.
That is a great game. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Is Tom Brady done after this year?
He says he does. He is, but that could change as we've seen.
Minnesota or the Saints?
It's a good one. I think I'm going to go with the Vikings. I like their team, so I'm going to go with them.
The Commanders or the Cowboys?
I'm going to go with the Cowboys on that one.
Detroit or Seattle?
Detroit has been impressive lately, man. They've been competing, so I'm going to go with Detroit. I think they're going to win that game.
Yeah, they're playing good football. They're
And
competing
against
at least.
Seahawks, who are just rebuilding, so
Yeah.
definitely the Lions on this one.
I think Drew Lock ends up taking over that job from Geno Smith eventually.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
The Giants or the Bears?
Oh, got to go with our G-men.
And with that being said, we will be in first place in the NFC.
Yes.
Kyler Murray versus Baker Mayfield. It looks like it's going to be Sunday night.
That's a good game. It's a Sunday night game, the 8:20.
I think so, based on this.
I like Kyler Murray a lot, so I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
L.A. versus San Francisco.
Oh, that's another good game. I think the 49ers still have a lot of juice in them, so I'm going to go with the 49ers on that one.
All right. So based on this playoff picture right now, you got the Dolphins, you got the Jaguars, you got the you have the Broncos, the Browns, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Colts. Then you got the Giants, the Vikings, the Bucks, the Niners, the Eagles, the Rams, the Packers. Out of all those teams, which team is going to decline? For me, I think it will be the Jaguars. I do not see them being one of those competitive teams. I see them maybe finishing the year 6-11.
Mm-hmm.
For who do you have?
That's a good question. I'm probably gonna go. I think if I had to pick one team that might decline, probably I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I just don't know if they know who their future, what they're doing in the future. So I don't know if they know who their future quarterback is gonna, be since Matt Ryan left. But we'll see. But if I had to pick a team, I think it'd be the Falcons. I just don't think they're gonna, continue. Oh, wait a second. The Falcons are a losing team, right? What's their record? They lost.
They're 2-2 based on our
Okay,
picks.
so they're 500. So yeah, I think the Falcons are gonna fall apart eventually. I mean, I hope it'd be cool. If they don't, that'd be great. But I just don't see them going far this season because they lost Matt Ryan last year. He left.
Yeah, they've been on the decline since he left.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with the Falcons, man, as the team.
Again, if you're just joining us, this is the Doug Saravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lapor. You could follow us on all your podcast applications, YouTube and Facebook Live, Saravo Broadcasting, the Doug Saravo Show. Tonight, we got Dougie and Brandon on, September 26, 2022. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we get back, the baseball season is almost over. Aaron Judge is still at home run 60, so that could happen tonight where he ties Roger Maris. We'll be right back. Dougie and Espo this Wednesday, depending on Kyle. We'll be right back. MVP quarterback. And then the other quarterback we have is Derek Carr.
Everything happens to me. Zach Wilson getting hurt happens to me. Not getting let into Bar A happens to me. Going to the hospital after the Jets beat the Titans happened to me.
All right, 23 wins. What's the difference?
Malibu at the diner part of the casino.
It's amazing, and listen, I love the setup, especially outside.
He campaigned. He wanted to be president.
Wear McKinnon, and then he would wear a blue
MVP quarterback. And then the other quarterback.
Microphone and say you want to be the owner and runner of the company.
All right, we are back on the Doug Sarvo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lapor. Brandon, that's my Malibu Doug intro.
I love the cha-cha music, man. It makes me, you know what it makes me feel like? I feel like I'm on an island or something. It makes me feel like
that's why I did it.
Back on the cruises of the days before the pandemic,
The good old days.
The good old days, man. It's good to feel that again,
And it's the good old days for the New York Mets because they are basically going to clinch this division, I believe. They're at 97-57. They've been playing good baseball, but the Braves have been struggling, and that helps this Mets organization. I think it's at 2 games now, and later on this week they are playing the Braves. So this is going to be an important series for the Mets. And I do believe they do clinch. They do clinch the National League East, and they will have that bye with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Houston Astros, and the New York Yankees. But there's one team that I think that has been on a tremendous run. And we were talking about how the Baltimore Orioles, the Tampa Bay Rays, would be in first place in the AL Central. But the Cleveland Guardians, they basically ran away with that division. They are now 86 and 67. So is this a team that is getting hot at the right time and can maybe go on a run and go back to the World Series for the first time since 2016?
I mean, it's definitely a great time to get hot, man. I mean, it's the end of the season. October baseball's popping. You clinch division. The confidence is booming now for the Guardians, which is great. It's a great feeling for them. And with the way they played all season, I agree with you. I think they do have a shot of going far in the playoffs. But again, the toughest team, in my opinion, who I think is going to have the toughest team to beat is probably going to be the Astros. The Astros are going to be so tough to beat. Even the Yankees and the Yankee fan would even admit that beating the Astros is the toughest goal for them to accomplish. And we've seen that in previous years. We can't beat the Astros. The Astros are tough, especially at home. At home, it's unbearable to beat them. You cannot beat them at home. And like the Yankees, it's hard to beat the Yankees at home. And listen, there's something about playing in Houston. The pitching is great. They got a good fan base who gets the crowd going, who gets the players going. Altuve usually comes up clutch in these games, like we've seen off of Aroldis Chapman at 2019, where he hit the walk-off home run to the World Series. So the Astros it's going to be tough to beat the Astros. But could I see the Guardians beating the Astros? You never know. We just got to take it one game at a time in the playoffs. See how, everyone is, how everyone is feeling, how the fans are, how everybody. So take it one game at a time, man. That's what's great about October baseball.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this year it's going to be even better. This year,
October baseball of course it will be.
Yep, especially with the Mets and the Yankees both in.
And then Aaron Judge has a milestone coming up.
Oh, yeah. And, unfortunately, I missed the 60th home run. I go to the game and I missed the 60th.
Yeah, but guess what? We fucking missed Judge's home run.
Doug, I love that. That's great.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but seriously, like that home run, that 60th home run, that's going to be something that the Yankees will. I mean, that's something that a lot of Yankees, even the greats like A-Rod, Jeter, or like who else, like Mattingly, wasn't able to accomplish. This is a milestone that was meant. This was a milestone that will never be forgotten. Like, this is something special. Like, he deserved it. He played hard all year, and he likely will probably hit a home run in Toronto one day this series. So, yeah, this guy will get raised. If the Yankees play the Rays in the postseason, you got to look out for him. Because it seems like all these pitchers have been pitching around Judge.
Yeah, they have.
And listen,
especially Boston.
I don't blame. I mean, listen, because they don't want to be the pitcher that'll give up the milestone home run, because then they'll be remembered, But the Judge had a couple of good pitches where he went deep, but it didn't go.
Yeah, and it just missed.
What was the one to center field?
Yeah,
by like 4 feet. But every Yankee game has been so fun to watch. The whole I would say the whole season, man.
Yeah. What about Big Albert? 700 back-to-back home runs.
Yeah, that was something special. I mean, if you're a Cardinal fan, you would have preferred he did it at home, but you gotta give the Dodger crowd credit. They did love that. They did love seeing that home run by Pujols, and the monkey's off his back now. He could retire now, and he'll feel good.
Monkey Bar.
He goes to Monkey Bar, and he's got exactly 700, or he hit more. Did he hit another one last night?
No, he's exactly at 700.
Exactly at 700. So that's He couldn't ask for more than that.
Like, imagine if he didn't struggle with L.A.
Yeah, that, and imagine, but he did it, so good for him. He deserved
He
it.
could probably beat Bonds' record if he had a good year with L.A.
Oh man, of course, yeah, absolutely. But
Or at
Bonds,
least beat Ruth or Henry Aaron.
oh yeah, 100%. But good for Albert. He deserves it. He's a good guy, and he's a Cardinal Hall of Famer, no question.
Baseball Hall of Famer.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, Brandon, this has been a great episode. It was a pleasure talking to you, as always, talking about our Giants, the Miami Dolphins. Shout out to Nicole and Dave, Ghost Sports. Talking about the Yankees, the Astros, the Guardians. I mean, I'm a little bit worried about my Tampa Bay Rays because a lot of guys are getting hurt. A lot of guys have been hurt for us.
Yeah, but I think you guys will be all right.
Yeah, we do have one of the best home records in baseball, that's for sure.
That's true, and you got an advantage at home. You know, you got a good fan base. You got a good atmosphere at home, so you guys are going to do fine.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight, though. Giants, baby.
Giants, Cowboys, man.
I got them winning tonight, 28-14. Barkley is going to have a day. Jones is going to have a day. What's your prediction before we head out?
30-15 Giants.
All right, baby. Let's go Giants, baby. Who would have thought we'd be 3-0?
3-0 tonight, and then to the Monkey Bar to celebrate.
To the Monkey Bar we go. Shout out to Hector Deffer. Thanks for a great weekend for National Lobster Day. The lobster quesadillas were tremendous. Highly respected at the moment.
Oh, you went to the National Lobster Day?
Yeah, he made me a nice lobster quesadilla. It was delicious.
Nice.
And then, of course, Krista with a nice cocktail. So I couldn't have had a better weekend.
Oh, good man. I'm glad you had a good time there.
Yeah. All right, this has been the Doug Strava Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lapor. Tonight we had myself and Brandon, September 26, 2022. Next week we'll have Mark Weiss. And pending this Wednesday, we will have another episode of Dougie and Espo. Brandon, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on as always.
Thank you, Doug. Have a great week and enjoy the Giants Cowboys.
Let's go, baby. Giants, baby. In the words of Russell Wilson, let's ride.
Let's ride.
Take care, Brandon. That has been Brandon Schwartz on tonight's episode of the Doug Strava Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lapor. See you guys next time.
Especially going back to Columbus down.
Why? They were horrible this year.
Malibu at the diner.
These leaders of these countries.
MVP quarterback. And then the other quarterback we have is Derek Carr.
Everything happens to me. Zach Wilson getting hurt happens to me. Not getting let into Bar A happens to me. Going to the hospital after the Jets beat the Titans happened to me.
All right, 23 wins. What's the difference?
Malibu at the diner part of the casino.
It's amazing, and listen, I love the setup, especially outside.
He campaigned. He wanted to be president.
Wear McKinnon, and then he would wear like a blue MVP quarterback, and then the other quarterback.
Microphone and say you want to be the owner and runner of the.